another sunny day.
Hey guys, welcome back to Yellow Shoelaces. Today I have a guest with me, Ofori. Say hi, Ofori.
Hi, Ofori.
Oh, okay. So, you just recently came back from South Africa. I was supposed to take that trip with you, and I regret not being able to make it because hearing you tell this story about everything that you've seen out there just sounds so amazing. So I want you to take us through the trip from start to finish. The last time that you actually took a trip was when?
A while ago, a long time ago, I guess maybe over 35, 40 years since I've been on a plane.
Okay.
And the trip began in Newark, and to Johannesburg is like maybe 14 to 15 hours. So getting on the plane, and the plane had problems. So there was battery issues on the plane, and then there was not enough fuel, and it was too much fuel, and they had to lighten the load on the plane. So we sat there on the tarmac for about 2 to 3 hours.
So lighten the load, when you say they had to lighten the load, what do you mean? Did they have to dump fuel?
Yeah, to dump fuel.
Okay, while you were on the ground.
While we were on the plane, we were all sitting there, and the plane is packed, and we're all just sitting there. But there was this pilot, and he was just making a lot of anecdotal type of comments, and he was funny, and he had us laughing, and then he appeared and said, "I just want you to see me," the person that's talking and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. So we finally got off the ground, and
well, I just want to stop you here. Now, I know that you had some issues before even taking off. At any point, because I know this is a long flight, like what was the time leaving to actually getting to South Africa? Like how long was the flight? Without the problems, it's what, 12 hours?
About 15 hours.
15 hours. Yeah. So at any point after you started having problems, hearing we need to unload some fuel, we're having like mechanical issues, did you ever think I should get off this plane right now? Did that ever cross your mind?
No, because once the doors close, you're not getting off.
Okay.
But yeah, financially I was committed. So, and then the two people I was with who were sponsoring the trip, basically, they were there, and I, felt comfortable with them.
Okay.
And so no, I really wanted to go. This is something I had dreamed about. So yeah, then what really hit me is when the plane came out of the clouds in Johannesburg, and I saw the lights, and tears started coming out my eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. And
what brought on the tears? What were you thinking?
It was just the feeling I'm in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, and and the flight was over. It's like, oh my God, and then the plane didn't crash. Of course that's gonna go through your mind.
So if I had to put it in order, it would be we didn't crash. Mm-hmm. My dream came true, and we're done.
Here.
It's over. We're here. But we're alive, right?
Right.
Okay. So the plane's landing, and you always dreamed about going to South Africa. So the plane is landed. You are getting off the plane. Your feet touch the ground in South Africa. Tell me what that felt like for you.
It felt liberating. Because living in America, well, I sound like James Brown, but
okay.
You have a lot of, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we live in the best country in the world, no matter what anybody says.
Okay.
And you get someplace else, and right away you feel the difference. First it's not as many people, and the people, when you get off the plane, everybody's welcome, and that was a good feeling. And then you have these moving
Is it like the escalators, the flat escalators?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that was fun. I just got on one of those things. I started trotting along. That was pretty cool.
Well, they have them at our airports out here as well.
But they have them in subways too. But that was pretty cool.
I know it's been 40 years, but okay.
Yeah. So I had my luggage, my carry-on luggage, and I had to go get my luggage, and
all right.
So, that was interesting.
Did you find the airport out there to be chaotic compared to our airports, or like was it really easy to get through to get off the plane, go to the luggage area, get your luggage? Was it very easy
it was pretty easy
to navigate?
Yeah, because it was as many places to go, like say JFK and Newark and stuff like
Okay.
that. Reagan, any places, but so I got my luggage and then we bought a couple of things, and then we met our escort, and they took us to the place we were going to stay. So first I went to Johannesburg, and then I stayed there for 2 days at this wonderful lodge called Dun Vegan Lodge, and it was very luxurious and safe, and I felt very comfortable. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. What was the first meal that you ate when you got there?
Macaroni and cheese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went from America to macaroni and cheese to South Africa and had macaroni and cheese, but it was delicious. That
Okay.
The sister-in-law of the individual I went with, Brian, who I'll give a plug, who's the owner of Hemingway African Gallery on Leonard Street, or right off of Broadway.
Okay.
So if anybody gets a chance, go check that place out.
And what's the name of it again?
Hemingway African Gallery.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been with you a few times there. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome, guys. So, if you get a chance, or if you're into African art, definitely check
Yeah.
that out. So, you're there for a few days, and you did say that you did a safari, right? A few
Yeah.
safaris. So, what was the first safari, and what did you see?
We first went into a lodge. Now let me see if I get this right. Mopangubwe. It was a park, a game park.
Okay.
So we stood there, we stayed there, and the scenery was breathtaking.
Wow.
And that's when I first saw the elephants.
Oh my God. You know my obsession with
Right.
elephants,
And,
right? I love them.
And what got me there was the peaceful migrations of the elephants as they came in, and then sort of giraffes, and they were just so elegant. The strides and the way they would turn their heads and take a look at you and keep walking and things like that. And
I've only ever seen a giraffe on, TV, and they are pretty elegant, but seeing it up close, this animal, like, what did you think? Like, I'm watching this giraffe live. Like, what did it seem like to you? Surreal?
Yeah, all that. And, the gentleman I was with was explaining everything about, the habitat and their culture and, how they eat and how they survive and, how they're able to survive in all types of different environments and different things like that when it comes down to the African continent.
Did you see any fights with them? Because I've seen also on some nature shows when they fight, they use their necks to fight. Like they're just kind of like swinging around, and hitting each other. You didn't witness any of that,
nothing
right?
like that. Nothing at all.
And I do want to bring up something you were telling me about, which I found like very scary. You said that you guys were on, I guess, a reservation, maybe not, a game safari, and you were almost charged by an elephant.
I was.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, we did a game count in Wangi National Park.
What's the name of the park?
Wangi.
Wangi.
Yeah,
Okay.
HWANGE.
Mm-hmm.
So it went from 12 noon to 12 noon the next day, and so there's a watering hole where all the elephants come in to drink, and it's just herds of them. They just come in, and unfortunately, because of the lack of water in this park, they have a grid where the water is initiated, then it goes for maybe 7-8 hours to 9 hours, then it stops, and then elephants have to leave. So, but during that whole time, the elephants are kind of fighting, or I would say fighting, but they're competing
With each
for
other?
the water. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
And you said it had to stop. Why does it have to stop?
That's a good question. There are a lot of different scenarios. I've heard that because of tourism, they want to see herds of elephants together, because if you have 50 to 60 elephants in one particular watering hole, when people are riding by, they stop, take pictures, and they may want to come back to this particular game park more and more and more. But our jobs were to count. We counted over 1,119 elephants.
Say that number again.
1,119.
Oh my goodness.
Now we didn't count them twice. These were individuals, elephants that were counted individually by this, by us, but basically 3 individuals, Brent Staplecamp, his wife Lori, and their wonderful son Ollie, who saved our lives when
Tell that story.
A mama elephant had came in, and her baby elephant had a broken leg, and it wasn't going to survive. She wasn't able to get water, so when she walked by, she saw us and was curious, and she took a couple more steps in, and then because of her stress, she charged us.
Wow.
We all scattered behind the cruiser, but Ollie, the 16-year-old, stood there, told the elephant, "Don't be cheeky," and kind of clapped his hands and stomped his foot a little bit, and the elephant stopped a full charge.
Now, I just want to cut right here because you actually showed me that video, and I seen you guys sitting at a table with chairs eating, and I seen you guys scurry because that elephant was coming, and then, the camera pans to the elephant, ears raised and ready. So I can only imagine the danger you must have felt. Like, what were you thinking? Did you think, like, this is it? She is going to attack us? Well,
she did. I thought that was... I can't even explain it, because, I'm from New York. So.
This is not the subway, sir.
No. And this is an actual, elephant. And it's not the Bronx Zoo or the Central Park Zoo. This is, animals in their natural habitat. But it also made me realize that these elephants, these animals, they aren't there to harm anyone. They're there to protect and to live, and what they show us, on television isn't basically true as far as, the animals, their behavior. Basically they're curious. They're looking at you. They want to know, who are you? And then they just kind of go off on their business, and they proceed with their migrations, to their next area, where they can have shelter and basically water, because that's what animals need. They need the water. Yeah. And that's what they're, I'm going from one watering hole to the next until possibly they get to a river. And unfortunately, some of the rivers there, like the Limpopo, were dried up because the lack of rain.
Okay.
That was happening in a particular area at the time. So yeah, that we had started as Johannesburg, and then we went to Botswana.
Well, I want to kind of ask about the baby elephant. Do we know whatever happened to the baby elephant?
No. Unfortunately, I probably probably didn't make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're on your way again to where?
After the game count, we went to Brent's home, and we stayed there for a couple of nights. Who again? Brent Staplecamp.
Okay.
And in Zimbabwe, and met a lot of the wonderful gentlemen and women of the village. And one of the gentlemen, said to me, he thanked me for my courage, which almost made me cry, because that was something I never thought I would hear from someone, in that context. So.
And you say thank you for your courage for what? Being
for the game count.
Okay.
Because we counted elephants, we counted baboons, giraffes, wildebeest, kudus.
And what's a kudu?
Which is a form of an impala.
Okay.
And we also
we counted impalas.
One leopard. I had hyenas walk in front of me. They just walked in front of me and kept on going about their business. So it was like they were trying to attack, anything like that.
Well, I know you had mentioned, talking about being a hero. You actually saved a chicken, right? You told me you guys were seeing these young kids like beating up a chicken,
torturing a chicken, yeah.
And you rescued it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and gave it water, and it kind of came back to life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also a little funny story. You said that I don't remember which area you were in, but a baboon stole all your apples,
yes.
right?
The baboon went into the cruiser, took 3 apples out. He went through the window, and took the apples and left.
And sat right in your face and ate them.
Yeah.
I saw that video.
Yeah, kind of laughing at us. Yeah.
Okay, so now you were telling us about driving through the mountains and like basically up this road where you said like the edge was so close. Like, what did you feel like?
I had faith because Brian, the gentleman I was with, is an Afrikaner. He's from South Africa, so he just drove the cruiser, and we just, the roads were bad, a lot of potholes and things like that. The trip, going from Botswana into Zimbabwe, I think the route was called N1. So we're just riding along and, meeting people along the way. And, the Africans were, just walking, just going from village to village and, with wheelbarrows, some of them just had water in it, because, water's so scarce. I just can't, emphasize enough the importance of water. We take it for granted here in where we're at, that because we have such an abundance of it, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And you need water to live, and that's what they were doing. Living.
And you said that also when you guys went out there, I know before you left, you were collecting clothing and teddy bears, and you did actually distribute those out, right?
Yes, we did.
Tell us about that.
That was a rewarding experience because they were so happy to get it. Not that you were giving anyone hand-me-downs or anything like that. It was just a donation, and we would give teddy bears and tennis balls and different things to mommies, that was sitting waiting along the roads and things like that, and they were just smiling and the generosity from them, because you were giving them something, was enlightening. Because you figure generosity comes from the person that's giving, but the generosity came from them because you were giving it to them.
Do you feel like they felt excited because you were American, or just because you were giving them things? Like what?
Yeah, that was a part of it. They know you're not from the area. Yeah, and one of the gentlemen that we picked up along the way told me that I looked like his brother. So that was a lot of strings, heartstrings there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what were some other highlights on this trip?
Well, the Zambezi River, the mighty Zambezi, which separates Zimbabwe and Zambia, and the beauty, the majesty of that river.
Wow.
And we saw 2 elephants mating. We saw hippos, and the sunset, and it was just the total beauty of it all. You don't feel any anxiety. You don't feel
the hustle and bustle.
Yeah. And it's life changing.
Okay. Now, while out there, did you experience like any city life? Kind of like restaurants did you go to? Shopping? What was that like? Buying food.
Well, it's not city in the sense that nothing's like New York, obviously, or different cities in America, but Botswana, Johannesburg, and the parts of Zimbabwe where I was more villagey. Victoria Falls was there were a lot of shops there, but tall buildings. No, I think that's more in Harare where I was, and that's capital of Zimbabwe. I did not go there,
Okay.
but these areas where I went were more, more like plains, so to speak. And I not with the E at the end. Plains like
Yes.
yeah, and towns, villages and things like that, and the restaurants were very accommodating. The service was outstanding. People were so nice and generous and friendly. The food was delicious, and the artists, the Shona artists in Zimbabwe were astounding.
Yeah, you
the
actually
carving, yeah. So
had like a really great connection with one of the artists you were telling me about. What's his name?
Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was great, and there was another gentleman I met in Botswana who I don't remember his name, but I took a couple of pictures with him. So he's just on the side of the road. A lot of artists that did so many different things with stone and wood and beads and with the beads, they would make owls or, like spotted dogs or, wild dogs or, hippos or, cows and obviously elephants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of that dog? Razorback, you said?
Razorback. Yes.
Razorback.
Yeah.
Now, describe that dog like a razorback. What did it look like?
Well, it has actually a razorback on the spine, two, raised edges of fur that goes up and down from the tail to the neck.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're pets, or they just roam around?
Yeah, they're pets.
They're pets.
Like we have German shepherds or Shih Tzus. They have Razorback dogs.
I feel like when I'm hearing razorback, I feel like, I don't know why an image of a hyena is coming to my mind. Do they look anything like a hyena or no? Like a dog?
Yes.
They look like a dog. Okay.
They're very loving.
Really? Okay. So we get there. So and you spent what, 19 days out there?
Yeah.
19 days?
Yeah.
At any point, were you ready to just like come home? Were you kind of like, okay, I had enough? Or is it someplace you think like, I could be out here for another 6 months?
Yeah, like the latter. Yeah, I didn't. I was looking forward to going to the next adventure. The next, the lodge or the next, town. For 3 days I was out what they called in the bush, where there was, no access to electricity as such. You did everything via solar. Outside, toilet accommodations, where, you use compost, which consists of sawdust and leaves, to cover up, whatever.
We get your drift.
Yeah, whatever you
We
had
get
to
it.
do. And they use it to build.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
So it was quite enlightening. Yeah.
We get it. So now you're nearing the end of your trip. And I know that they actually have another trip coming up in June. So did you know that this trip was coming up in June before you left? And you're just preparing, I can't wait to get back here in June. Or did he tell you that like after you got back, like, look, we have another trip coming up. Are you ready in June?
Yeah, I did know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's he said it's gonna be more like a mobile, type of safari. He'll explain to me more, how that, is going to manifest itself. But this particular one, it was just me and, him and his girlfriend Vicky, who was, can't leave her out. She was awesome.
She did most of the accommodations, right?
Yeah.
Set up, right?
No, yeah, he did. Yeah,
Okay.
so we were just in the cruiser, going up and down.
So leaving, you already knew that I'm coming back here soon. So
Yeah,
it wasn't like a sad moment because you knew you were coming back, right?
It wasn't sad at all. And I had a lot of art that I brought back with me. So I was like, how am I going to get this stuff through customs?
Oh, He made that happen.
Yeah.
He made that happen.
Yeah.
So overall, you had an amazing time, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was extraordinary. It was a fantastic time, and I recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
You may not have the same experience I did, but you can have your own experience.
But we definitely recommend the safari for everyone, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, I definitely got to get out there. Hopefully June. I don't know. 14 hours. Wow.
It's a long flight.
Wow. I think the longest I've ever flown was 10 hours. And that's a lot, but 14 hours.
Yeah, make sure you get an aisle seat so you don't get stuck out the window.
Oh my goodness.
With a big person at the end and kind of sandwich you in. So.
Okay. I know when the plane landed in Newark, though, that must have been an adjustment. It took you, like 3 days to just kind of get back to where you were, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. The time, it was like 6 hours. You were 6 hours.
In a day.
Right?
Yeah. 6 hours plus a day. So if you leave now, what's today, Saturday, you would get there tomorrow 6 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, thank you for that detailed description of your trip to South Africa. And also, Ofori, you are a huge jazz fan. And I think the next time we have you on here, we're going to have you go down memory lane with a bunch of artists that you really love. And just growing up, listening to jazz and some of the artists that you knew personally, it was just so amazing. Like I know, what's his Barry
Harris.
Barry Harris. And those are the interesting stories. Growing up, having him involved in your life and actually being in a choir, right?
Yes.
Look at this man singing la 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 la.
Yes.
All right, Ofori. Well, thank you for doing this interview. Love having conversation with you. You were just like so full of amazing stories and just so easy to talk to. Very easy on the ears, right, guys? You would agree. So we will definitely have Ofori on here again. But right now, this is going to be the end of this episode. Say goodbye, Ofori.
Goodbye, Ofori.
So, guys, remember to always stay intrigued. And until next time, bye.
Don't worry about it.